Billionaire saw his maid's daughter washing dishes at 3 a.m., then found out why she skipped school. The chandeliers were dark, the hallways silent. Even the security cameras moved lazily, expecting nothing but shadows. But as billionaire Ethan Hale stepped into the kitchen for a glass of water, he froze. A small figure stood at the sink, bare feet on cold marble, sleeves rolled too high, tiny hands scrubbing plates far bigger than her arms should handle. She couldn't have been older than 11. Ethan felt his chest tighten. Because this wasn't just any child. This was Maria's daughter, the quiet maid who arrived before sunrise and left long after sunset, never asking for overtime, never complaining, and her daughter was supposed to be in school. Yet here she was washing dishes at 3 a.m. Something was wrong. Ethan didn't speak at first. He watched as the girl winced, her fingers red and cracked from detergent. She moved carefully, as if afraid even the clink of a plate might wake the house and get her in trouble. "Why aren't you asleep?" he finally asked, his voice softer than he intended. The girl jumped, nearly dropping a glass. I'm sorry, sir," she whispered. "I didn't mean to be here. I'll finish fast." Finish fast. That sentence hit him harder than any boardroom betrayal ever had. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lily," she said, eyes down. "And school?" Ethan asked gently. "Why aren't you there during the day?" Lily hesitated. Then she spoke so quietly he almost didn't hear her. "Because my mom gets tired, and when she's tired, she gets sick." The words settled heavy in the air. "She works nights." Lily continued. "So I wash the dishes. And in the morning, I watch my brother. Then sometimes there's no time for school." Ethan felt something crack inside him. All those years of chasing numbers, contracts, power, none of it had prepared him for an 11-year-old sacrificing her childhood so her mother could survive another day. He noticed then Lily's backpack by the door, worn, torn at the edges. Inside, he saw a folded paper sticking out, a report card. "Straight A's. You're smart," Ethan said quietly. Lily shrugged. "I like learning. I just can't go every day." That night, Ethan didn't sleep. The next morning, Maria was called into his office. She stood nervously, hands clasped, ready for termination. She already knew she must have. People like her always sensed danger before it arrived. But instead of anger, Ethan offered her a chair. And then he did something no one expected. He apologized. For not seeing her exhaustion. For not asking why she stayed late. For not realizing the cost of silence. Maria cried, not loud, not dramatically, but the kind of crying that comes when someone finally feels seen. From that day on, everything changed. Maria's hours were reduced. Her pay increased. Lily was enrolled in a private school with a scholarship Ethan personally funded. Her brother received health care, tutors, meals. But the twist, the part no one saw coming, came months later. At a charity event, Ethan was asked why he'd started a foundation for children of domestic workers. He looked across the room and saw Lily, now standing tall, smiling, holding a book instead of a dishcloth. And he said, "Because one night, I realized the wealth in my house wasn't measured by money, but by the kindness I was missing." Years later, Lily would stand on a graduation stage, valedictorian, thanking her mother, and "the man who saw me when the world looked away." And Ethan. He'd tell anyone who'd listen that the most important deal of his life wasn't signed in a boardroom. It happened at 3 a.m. in a quiet kitchen, when a billionaire learned that kindness still matters.